So we are going to get into the Bible reading, which is, the first reading is Psalms chapter 22, verse 1 and 2. And it says, my God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me, so far from my cries of anguish? My God, I cry out by day, but you do not answer, by night, but I find no rest. This is a cry. This is an anguish. This is a cry of a desperate person. His name was David, the psalmist. And he was crying because the Lord was quiet. He was not answering him when he really, really needed him. And the most interesting thing about heaven being quiet, or God being quiet, is that he was also quiet to Jesus himself. And this kind of prayer depicts the same image as that of the cry that Jesus made at the Garden of Gethsemane. You know, when he was asking that this cup of pain may be taken away from him. You know, at some point he would feel, why? But yes, he's God, and God had to be, you know, the heavens had to be quiet, excuse me, for everything to happen as per the plan of heaven. The second verse comes from the book of, John, John chapter 11 from verse 5 to 7. And it says, now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. And then he said to his disciples, let us go back to Judea. Now there's a whole story that comes before this verse and after, and as usual, I will be explaining everything. So do not fear. Do not stay like, what? Who are those? But yes, Jesus was a friend to Martha, Mary, and Lazarus. Those were siblings. And Lazarus died at some point, but we shall see what Jesus did and the miracle that happened, and how Mary and Martha might have felt that Jesus was quiet when he was needed. Okay, so we'll get into that. And the quote of the day is written by someone by the name Chuck Swindoll, and he says, God's silence doesn't mean his absence. God's silence doesn't mean his absence. Silence is God's call for you to grow deeper. Wow. I think that is encouraging, knowing that God is not quiet for no reason, okay? There is a reason why he is silent. He wants you to grow deeper into loving him, into getting to know him, into growing that relationship with him. And many are the times when we think that he could be silent, but instead we are having a lot of noise pollution, you know, a lot of things, a lot of thoughts, a lot of things that are holding us back from hearing his voice. For you to hear the voice of God, you have to be still. Many other times that we go into prayer closets and we are praying and we just want to get out of there and go to bed. You know, if it is at night, if it is during lunchtime, you want to eat something. Most of you, I wonder when was the last time you fasted. Our producer will be telling us his experience with fasting in a few, so that you know, you don't have time for God at all, yeah? So that you do not know how he speaks. You do not know what his word says. So that when you are, you know, supposed to have the answer already, you do not have it, yet it is right there in front of you. But you keep praying, you keep pursuing, thinking that God is silent, and at some point, sadly, some people give up. Wow. Are you one of those? I might have been, but after today's lesson, after today's class, we shall be knowing where we stand, and we shall be knowing where we will be headed after it. Sawa sawa.